So I'm going to be doing a video that no one asked for. I'm going to be ranking my friends in a tier list. Why am I doing this? I don't have any other ideas for today. Let's get things started off with Kieran Carlin. Always up for a wee watched, always up for a video. Can't knock him, except for the fact he cannot eat, like, any food. Well, he can, he just decides not to. That marks him down, in my opinion. I'm putting him in good friend, because he turns up with the wee watched videos. He's good on them. Bambino Becky. Right, I got a bone to pick with her. I accidentally ended up in London the other day, and you may ask, how did you accidentally end up in London? I went there because I got an Arsenal season ticket, so I go to, like, every home game. This particular game was against Everton, and it was rescheduled because the Queen died back, when was this, like September, October? It was rescheduled because of that, but I was on holiday at the time. So before I went on holiday, I sold the ticket because I was like, I might as well just sell it. I'm not going to be using it. Give it to someone who wants to go see the game. Anyway, of course, the game ended up getting rescheduled, and I totally forgot about this. I completely forgot. So I made the arduous journey to London, ended up there, didn't get let in, was very confused, then remembered I sold the ticket. So I was wandering around London, and I decided to call around a few friends, one of them being Becky. And she goes, oh, I'm not in London right now. I was like, that's pathetic. That's a pathetic excuse. Be there. She says she'll message me later on, and she goes, oh, I think we're just going to have a quiet drink in Euston Station, and that's it. Pathetic. I'm never in London. And she did not want to come and see her old pal. However, to mark her up in my books, she did listen to a piece of advice I gave her. And I think it was a really, really good piece of advice. I like it when people take my advice, because I am always right and never wrong. Right, so she has this series called See It Off. And she was going to put it, I think she was saying she was going to put it on like a separate channel. And I told her, no, Becky, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Put it on your main channel, because then it will grow your main channel. So you can like do, your other videos other than See It Off. She listened, and it's doing really well. So yeah, if I give you advice, you better listen. As a result, I got to put her in the middle. She's okay. James Marriott. You know, he used to be a good boy, but for some reason recently he's been like, oh, I can't do 7 hour. We watch the entire Garfield TV show videos. I'm on tour. I've got a tour. I'm in a band now. Pathetic excuses. Don't like him anymore. Eleanor Neal. Eleanor Neal is just good vibes. Whenever Eleanor Neal is around, it is a good vibe. I put her in good friend. Elliot, also known as Retro Future. He's a good boy. He's the guy that made us the E-Boys Game Boys. He did all that for free for me, and that was really nice of him. Also, I go around his house sometimes, and he's got like so much cool shit in his house. It's because he's like, if you don't know who he is, he essentially builds like custom Game Boys and all that sort of stuff. So he's got all these really cool, like, limited edition Game Boys. He just gave me this one time when I went around his. Its official name is the Game Boy Swamp Edition, because I'm guessing they didn't have the licensing for Shrek. And he also gave me this. I showed this in my Shrek video that I did recently. It's the entire movie Shrek 2 on a Game Boy cartridge. It looks terrible. I'll show it up to the camera when it loads. It's really bad. I don't know who approved this, because it's like fucking unwatchable. It's terrible. Yeah, look. I'm gonna turn off one of my lights. I'll turn off my other light. It's a bit dark because it's a Game Boy screen. I don't know if you can make that out, but hang on, one sec. I'll turn off my final light. I'm basically in total darkness now, and you can still barely see it. But look, it's in like 5 frames a second. It's terrible. And it's all like pixelated. It's all like actual like Game Boy graphics. It's terrible. So yeah, for that, I'll put him in good friend. George Clark, he lived on my sofa for about 3 months. He is a funny man. Like this still one of my favorite moments from like any sort of podcast thing I've done is Gloucester Road Gearboxes. Hang on, let me find it. It's this video here. It didn't do all that well, but it was so funny to me. I don't know if anyone else found this as funny as I did, but I was actually crying. So I don't know, if you haven't seen this, go watch it, I guess. After this video, I need watch time. I'm gonna put him in there okay, because he did not pay me rent once. I'm Alex. I lived with I'm Alex for about 4.5 years. You know, he's all right, I guess. Ash Kabusa, he's a good lad. I do like Ash. Sometimes we go and play pool, and I enjoy playing pool with Ash. Good friend. Cameron Kirkham, good lad. We always have a nice chat whenever I see him. I don't see him all too often though, so I'll put him in there okay. I've realised here I've got this tier called I Hope They Perish, but I don't know who I'm going to put in there. Like, there's no one on this that I genuinely hope perishes. I'm going to have to put someone in there at some point, whether I have to shuffle this round or whatever. Fraser, Einabber. Whenever I have him on a video, he's always top class. He's always very, very funny. I still can't believe he got snubbed from E-Boys, though. I'll put him in there okay, just because I don't see him too often. Isaac HP, funny man. Like him a lot, good friend. Jack Joseph, again, funny man. I once went on a night out with these two, and like their demographic is like exactly the sort of people who just go clubbing every weekend. So it was just like fucking terrifying. Like every 15 seconds someone would see them and like audibly scream. It was fucking terrifying. He wants me to go on his podcast, and I'm like, oh, what date are you free? So like, I tell him like what dates I'm free and like what dates I'm around London, because that's where they film it, and he just doesn't get back to me. So simply for that fact, they're okay. There's too many people in there. Okay, I'm gonna have to move some around. There's no one here. I'm gonna have a little shuffle round, aren't I? I'm gonna put Alex in I hope they perish for no reason. Jack Manifold, again, funny man, is always up for a good old we watched. Good friend, Jack Manifold. I hope he wins his fight. Jago. Joshy, we haven't made a video in ages. Well, the videos we made were the good old Club Penguin videos. Should I make another video like that, or is that like era past? I feel as though that era may have passed, but I don't know. There we go. Good friend. Lewis Buchan. I'm in a group chat with Lewis, and he's been giving me some like thumbnail tips. So I'll just like post my like. No one seems to message in that chat very much. The whole chat recently has just been me posting like my thumbnails in there, being like, "What would you change?" And he's been giving me good advice. Good lad. Good friend. Tommy in it. My days. Tommy is like the most chill man ever until a camera goes on. Like, I mean, I've only ever been in like one video with him, but that was the one where he like came around my house and he was like, "Oh, we're just gonna do like a thing of like, robbing your house, whatever." Like, as soon as the camera rolled, he just went into like YouTube mode, running around my house. I was actually like fucking terrified for my well-being and shit. But no, he's a good lad. I love Tommy to bits, but because he scared me that time, I hope he perishes. Will N.E. responsible for breaking up the E-boys. How dare he? I will never forgive him. No, joking. I'm over it. Will's a good man, good friend. Kit Wisp, I like Wisp, but I keep trying to tell him to upload videos because he's uploaded like one video in the last 4 months. I'll put him there just because that section's looking a bit empty. Now, finally, for my best friend in the whole world. You've all seen the clips of us together being pals, being Bezzy mates, KSI Legit ABT, best friend in whole world. Might even be cheeky and put him in the title. Right, that's a pretty good looking tier list, I think. There's a bit too many people in good friend, maybe. But overall, it's a good list. It's a good list. Subscribe if you want to be in the best friend in whole world tier.
A little bit. We don't need this bit in. Obviously, try and turn up the brightness on the screen.
And you're Prince Charming. Oh, that is nasty. What do you reckon we should do with him? I say we take the sword and neuter him right here.